And now to my breakdown tonight. Donald Trump's attack on migrants from African and Latin nations was not only vile, it also turns out that it reveals hypocrisy by many of his allies. That's important because all of this turns out to be much bigger than just Trump. You know, for decades, there were right-wing conservatives who spent a lot of time attacking curse words and explicit language as a threat to our national values. Forget words by politicians who actually, of course, do represent the country. There were leaders like Newt Gingrich who tried to use their power to stop musicians from ever swearing. Gingrich even called on corporations to pull their ads from stations playing rap music, arguing nothing else matters if you don't start with those values.
Some people may tell you that we should stay away from values and stay away from social issues. I'm here to tell you, if you don't start with values and you don't start by establishing who we are as Americans, the rest of it doesn't matter.
That wasn't some side project either. Gingrich was the most powerful Republican during Clinton's presidency. Even during Bush's tenure, conservative media figures were beating the exact same drum. Bill O'Reilly calling for Pepsi to drop the rapper Ludacris because of swearing and the messages of his lyrics, and Pepsi did.
Because of pressure by Factor viewers, Pepsi Cola late today capitulated. Ludacris has been fired. Once again, we congratulate Pepsi for its decision. We congratulate you, Factor viewers, for making it happen.
By the Trump era, though, O'Reilly had dropped that crusade. He looked pretty cozy with Trump when they were on the air. And like many Republicans, Newt Gingrich has gone on to defend Trump's behavior and language, even defending the man who Trump dismissed over his language, Anthony Scaramucci.
President Trump's a New Yorker. He and Scaramucci sort of speak the same language. Trump wants somebody willing to mix it up with the news media, get in the middle of the fight.
The list goes on. Former Governor and Pastor Mike Huckabee claiming he was very offended by the F word as recently as 2016.
In Iowa, you would not have people who would just throw the F-bomb and use gratuitous profanity in a professional setting.
Right.
In New York, not only do the men do it, but the women do it. As we would say in the South, that's just trashy.
Meanwhile, during the Clinton era, it was Minister Pat Robertson blasting what he called Bill Clinton's, quote, sexual freedom.
We are watching the office that was ennobled by Washington and Jefferson and Lincoln become the playpen for the sexual freedom of the poster child of the 1960s. After all, not all our elected officials are debauched, debased, and defamed. Thank God for that.
Now, that is a position many people held back then, and that many people legitimately hold today. That's fine. But apparently not Minister Robertson. He's discovered a new religion when it comes to Donald Trump. For example, when Trump was openly bragging about unwanted sexual contact, Robertson's response to the Access Hollywood tape.
Let's face it, a guy does something 11 years ago. There's a conversation in Hollywood where he's trying to look like he's macho.
And the dismissals went on from there. Or take Ralph Reed. He literally ran the group called the Christian Coalition, and this was his statement. A 10-year-old tape of a private conversation ranks pretty low on his hierarchy of concerns, speaking about evangelical voters that he leads. During the Clinton impeachment at the Christian Coalition's Road to Victory conference back in 1998, he, however, advocated a personal morals test, and not just for the president, but for every level of government.
That character matters, and the American people are hungering for that message. We care about the character of our leaders, and we will not rest until we have moral leaders at every level of government, from the courthouse to the White House.
That is one of the men defending Donald Trump's character today, defending the way he leads, defending his words. This isn't a story where the emperor has no clothes. The rest of the royal court has been exposed, and it's not pretty.